Good morning, I am Avni. Today we are reading the fourth edition of the ASU Express, dated 3rd May 2021. So let's start with the election updates. Bobby.
Thank you, Avni. So first, in Kerala, breaking the four-decade trend of no incumbent getting re-elected, the Left Democratic Front, LDF, led by Pinarayi Vijayan, has stormed back to power in Kerala with 99 seats out of 140. The UDF only managed to win 41 seats, and BJP didn't even win a seat, even losing its single seat in the last government. The current Health Minister KK Shailaja won with a record majority of over 61,000 votes. BJP Kerala Secretary K. Surendran, who contested in two constituencies, lost both. So that's all from Kerala. Let's see what is happening in Bengal from Muskan.
Thank you, Bobby. Good morning. In Bengal, TMC has won by 210 seats out of 294 seats, and BJP has bagged 76 seats. Mamata Banerjee has lost Nandigram seat to BJP leader Suvendu Adhikari. The Trinamool Congress on Sunday approached State Chief Electoral Officer Aris Aftab demanding recounting of votes in Nandigram. That's all from Bengal. Now, Bobby, tell us about Puducherry.
Absolutely. Thank you, Muskan. So, NDA to form a government in Puducherry with 16 seats out of the total 30. Out of the 16 won, NR Congress won 10 seats and BJP the rest 6. The DMK Congress alliance only managed to win 8 seats. In current ruling Congress party won only 2 seats. Namashivayam and John Kumar, who left Congress and joined BJP, won with a huge majority. So that's from Puducherry. Over to Muskan for updates from Assam.
In Assam, BJP is leading by 60 seats out of 126 seats. 29 seats are with Congress and 16 seats are with AIUDF. The BJP is looking to create history in the state by becoming the only non-Congress government to win consecutive terms in Assam. CAA has not hurt BJP despite huge protests in 2019 in Assam. Assam Congress chief resigns due to post-poll fiasco. Now let's see what's going on in Tamil Nadu.
In Tamil Nadu, DMK to form a government after 10 years. MK Stalin, the party president, is to be the new chief minister. Out of the total 234 seats, the DMK alliance won 159. Current ruling Anna DMK and BJP alliance got reduced to 75 seats. Film actor Kamal Hassan lost in South Coimbatore. 9 of the current ministers lost the elections, but current CM K. Palanisamy won with a huge majority of over 1 lakh votes. So with that, we come to the end of the election results. Now let's hear the national updates from Aman.
Thank you, Bobby. Now, moving on to the national updates. Indian COVID-19 numbers. May 2nd, finally one day that breaks the upward trend. On Saturday, 392,488 new cases of coronavirus infections were detected in India, about 9,500 less than the previous day's tally of 401,993. This is the first time in more than a month that the daily count of cases has been lower than the previous day on a non-Monday. A more reassuring sign, however, is in the fact that in case of Maharashtra, the plateauing and even the possible decline has become very visible. The active cases in the state has been going down steadily for the last 10 days, from a peak of 7 lakh on April 22nd to 6.63 lakh now. A similar trend is visible in the case of Delhi as well, where the daily count of cases has been in the 20,000s for the last 2 weeks. Now moving on to Arush for more updates.
Thanks a lot, Aman. So, the next story is a crucial statement from a bunch of scientists who claim that the Indian government ignored their warnings amid coronavirus surge. A forum of scientific advisors set up by the government warned Indian officials in early March of a new and more contagious variant of the coronavirus taking hold in the country. Despite the warning, 4 of the scientists said the federal government did not seek to impose major restrictions to stop the spread of the virus. Indian SARS-CoV-2 Genetics Consortium shared its findings with the Health Ministry's National Center for Disease Control before March 10. The findings were then passed on to the Indian Health Ministry, which did not respond to requests for comment. India overall has reported more than 300,000 infections a day for the past 9 days, the worst streak anywhere in the world since the pandemic began. Deaths have surged too, with the total exceeding 200,000 last week. Also, there's an update on the Assam election numbers, which are which say the BJP has won 60 seats, Indian National Congress has got 29 seats, and the AIUDF is there with 16 seats. AGP and BPF are with 9 and 4 seats respectively. With that, over to you, Pratham.
Thank you, Arush. PM Modi reviews progress of converting nitrogen plants to oxygen plants. On Sunday, 2nd May 2021, PM Narendra Modi reviewed the progress of converting nitrogen plants to oxygen plants in the country. This is a vital step in this unprecedented time. There is an acute shortage of medical oxygen pan India. So far, 14 industries have been identified for conversion, and future 37 nitrogen plants have been also identified with the help of industry association of our country. The government of India explored the feasibility of conversion of existing nitrogen plants to produce oxygen. Various potential industries are being explored to increase the supply of oxygen. This meeting was held with the Prime Minister, in which Principal Secretary to PM, Cabinet Secretary, Home Secretary, Secretary Road Transport and Highway, and other senior officials were in attendance. Main agenda for the meeting was to discuss the progress of converting existing pressure swing absorption PSA nitrogen plant for the production of oxygen were discussed. On Sunday, 392,488 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, taking the cumulative count of the cases to around 2 crore as per the Union Health Ministry. Thank you. The next one is Harish.
Thank you, Pratham. Now let's move on next national bulletin of the day. Government cuts tax on import of oxygen concentrators for personal use to 12%. The government on Saturday slashed integrated GST rate on import of oxygen concentrators for personal use to 12% from 28% earlier for 2 months till June 30. The Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs CBIC tweeted, the government earlier allowed imports of oxygen concentrators for personal use through post, courier, or e-commerce platforms under the gift category. Now let's hear the next news bulletin from Mansi.
Thank you, Harish. Jaunpur man provides free oxygen cylinder to patient. UP police books him for violating COVID norms. The Uttar Pradesh police on Saturday booked a man who was allegedly helping patients by giving oxygen cylinder to those unable to find hospital beds in the state Jaunpur district. The man, identified as Vicky Agrahari, was accused of violating COVID-19 safety protocols and was booked under Section 188 and 269 of the Indian Penal Code and Section 3 of the Epidemic Disease Act. Amid a shortage of hospital beds and oxygen supply in the state, Vicky reportedly came to rescue of patient. The health official told police that he wasn't following the COVID-19 guidelines, while adding that it could lead to the spread of deadly infection. The Uttar Pradesh government and the police, meanwhile, came under attack after the matter surfaced on social media platforms. Now, moving on to Shubhankar for more updates.
Before that, we have an update from Assam. Out of 126 total seats, NDA has bagged 73 seats, UPA with 52, and others 1. So BJP has retained the state for the second time. Now moving on to Shubhankar with more national updates.
Thanks, Ravi. Haryana government imposes 7-day total lockdown from tomorrow amid COVID surge. Haryana government has imposed a total lockdown for 7 days. Haryana Minister Anil Vish declared on Twitter that complete lockdown will be imposed in Haryana for 7 days from 3rd May. The Haryana government on Friday imposed weekend lockdown in Panchkula, Gurugram, Faridabad, Sonipat, Rohtak, Karnar, Hisar, Sirsa, and Fatehpur districts. The weekend lockdown started from Friday 10 p.m. and will remain effective till 5 a.m. on May 3rd, Monday. On Saturday, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal extended the ongoing lockdown in Delhi by another week. Maharashtra government has also extended the current COVID-19 restrictions in the state till May 15. Now let's hear it from Sayud.
Thank you, Shubhankar. Odisha's CM announces working journalists as frontline workers. Odisha's Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has declared working journalists of the state as frontline COVID warriors yesterday. which will benefit around 6,500 working journalists. They are a great support for our war against COVID-19, a statement issued by Chief Minister's office said. The same statement added 6,944 working journalists of the state have been covered under the Gopa Bandhu Swambadika Swasthya Bima Yojana and will get a health insurance cover of rupees 2 lakh each. Odisha has also announced an ex gratia of rupees 15 lakh for the next kin of journalists who died due to COVID-19 while performing their duty. Even after being declared as frontline workers by the state government, journalists will not get priority in the vaccination program, sources said. Even though there have been 11 deaths due to COVID-19 pandemic in the state already. Let's move to the editorial, which will be presented by Avni.
Thank you, Sayed. Uh, a timely warning on Supreme Court intervention against clampdown on information. The Supreme Court has issued a timely warning to the states against any attempt to clamp down on the dissemination of information about the serious health crisis besetting the country or call for help through social media from citizens affected by COVID-19. The government, obviously in response to the utterly despotic threat issued by UP CM Yogi Adityanath that those spreading misinformation or rumor would be detained under the National Security Act (NSA) and their property seized, will surely help prevent ill-advised action by the police and the administration to treat appeals concerning shortage of hospital beds, medical oxygen and vital drugs as attempt to bring the government into disrepute. The police in Amethi registered an FIR against a man who appealed on Twitter for an oxygen cylinder for a family member for allegedly circulating a rumor and seeking for a cause of fear and alarm. Mr. Adityanath appears quite convinced that complaints about oxygen shortage in his state are either imaginary or worse malicious and wants to treat them as attempts to spoil the atmosphere. While it is entirely in order and the government has directed the police to crack down on the profiteering on medicines in the black market, it is quite a different matter of the administration starts seeing all appeals from having uh, appeals for help in a grave crisis as nothing more than activities aimed at tarnishing the government's image. Given the propensity of such leaders to treat the voicing of grievances by citizens as a personal affront to their administrative capabilities, the court's warning that any attempt to stifle the people's voices would attract action for contempt of court in quite timely and necessary. Now moving to Rashi for OPED.
Thank you, Avni. If PM Modi wants redemption, he needs first to admit that mistakes were made. The one thing we do not need in this awful time is for political leaders to start telling lies. The first big lie came from Yogi Adityanath, who declared that there was no shortage of oxygen, beds, or drugs in hospitals in his state. He warned that still actions could be taken against those spreading rumors about shortages. More worrying than Yogi's lies was the pitiful attempt by the Minister of External Affairs to get our embassies to counter one sided narrative in the Western media. What is the other side? Is there another side to mass fires in our crematoriums? Is there another side of people dying in hospitals for want of oxygen? If Modi wants redemption, he needs first to admit that mistakes were made. The second wave would have come anyway, but it would not have been catastrophic if we had sufficient supplies of vaccines, oxygen, and COVID drugs. There is such a severe shortage of vaccines now that chief ministers admit they cannot go ahead with vaccinating all Indians over the age of 18. Within hours of the announcement that this was going to be permitted from May 1, more than 1 crore people had registered on the official app. Why was this program announced at all when the shortage of vaccines is a crisis in itself? The major next crisis, as the cardiac surgeon Dr. Devi Shetty has pointed out, is going to be a severe shortage of doctors and nurses. He has written articles detailing how this shortage of manpower should be handled, but the Prime Minister and his officials are not listening. Now moving towards the Kansha for the international news.
Thank you, Rashi. Now for time for the international news. Thousands rally against Myanmar Junta, calling for spring revolution. Yangon, thousands of anti-coup protesters marched in Myanmar on Sunday, calling for spring revolution with the country in its fourth month under a military regime. The junta has aimed to suppress dissent through a brutal crackdown that has seen mass arrests and an escalating death toll. Central Mandalay region saw hundreds take down the streets led by monks in saffron-colored robes carrying the flag of Suki's National League for Democracy. In northern Shan state, youths carry a banner that read, "We cannot be ruled at all." By 10 a.m., violence erupted in the state's Shippa township when security forces cracked down on protesters, there killing at least one. Thank you. Now moving on to Ritika.
Thank you, Kansha, for your report. Now it's time for business news. SBI cuts home loan rate to 6.7%. State Bank of India Saturday said it has reduced home loan interest rate to 6.70%. The lender said home loan interest rates are now starting from 6.70% for loans up to rupees 30 lakhs and 6.95% for loans above rupees 30 lakh to 75 lakh. The interest rate on home loans above rupees 75 lakh is 7.05%, the bank said in a release. Thank you.
That's all for today. We'll be back tomorrow with more updates. Till then, take care and stay safe.